Hello friends, welcome to Happy Interviews. Subscribe to our channel if you are preparing for some interview. You can also register for free mock interview on SQL by the link provided in the description of this video. Let's start with this video. SQL interview questions, part 2 presented by Happy Interviews. Topics covered in this video are: what is a data warehouse? What is view? What are triggers? What is a cursor? What is a stored procedure? What is an index? Explain different types of index. What is subquery in SQL? What are the different types of a subquery? Question 1. What is a data warehouse? So, data warehouse refers to a central repository of data where the data is assembled from multiple sources of information. Those data are consolidated, transformed and made available for the mining as well as online processing. Warehouse data also have a subset of data called data marts. You can also refer to the diagrams for better understanding of data warehouse and data mart. Next question, what is view? In SQL, a view is a virtual table based on the result set of an SQL statement. A view contains rows and columns, just like a real table. The fields in a view are fields from one or more real tables in the database. You can add SQL functions, where, and join statements to a view and present the data as if the data were coming from one single table. Syntax to create view is: create view view_name as select column 1, column 2. From table_name where condition. In the diagram we can see the characteristics of a view. Next question, what are triggers? Triggers in SQL is kind of stored procedures used to create a response to a specific action performed on the table, such as insert, update or delete. You can invoke triggers explicitly on the table in the database. Action and event are two main components of SQL triggers. When certain actions are performed, the event occurs in response to that action. Syntax to create a trigger is: create trigger name, before, after, event, or on table_name, for each row statement. Execute procedure function name, arguments. In the diagram we can see the types of trigger about which we will cover in detail in later videos. Next question, what is a cursor? A database cursor is a control structure that allows for traversal of records in a database. Cursors, in addition, facilitates processing after traversal, such as retrieval, addition and deletion of database records. They can be viewed as a pointer to one row in a set of rows. SQL cursor follows the below cycle: declare a cursor after any variable declaration. The cursor declaration must always be associated with a select statement. Open cursor to initialize the result set. The open statement must be called before fetching rows from the result set. Fetch statement to retrieve and move to the next row in the result set. Call the close statement to deactivate the cursor. Finally, use the deallocate statement to delete the cursor definition and release the associated resources. In the diagram, we can see different cursor attributes and the cursor cycle. We will learn about cursor in detail later, where we will cover types of cursor, their attributes and usage with example. Next question, what is a stored procedure? A stored procedure is a function which consists of many SQL statements to access the database system. Several SQL statements are consolidated into a stored procedure and execute them whenever and wherever required, which saves time and avoid writing code again and again. The sole disadvantage of stored procedure is that it can be executed nowhere except in the database and occupies more memory in the database server. It also provides a sense of security and functionality, as users who can't access the data directly can be granted access via stored procedures. Syntax of stored procedure is: create procedure, fetch all students, begin select asterisk from MYDB, students, end. In the diagram, we can see how different programs call for a stored procedure to reuse the code. Next question, what is an index? Explain different types of index. An index refers to a performance tuning method of allowing faster retrieval of records from the table. An index creates an entry for each value and hence it will be faster to retrieve data. Types of index. Unique index. This index does not allow the field to have duplicate values if the column is unique indexed. If a primary key is defined, a unique index can be applied automatically. Clustered index. This index reorders the physical order of the table and searches on the basis of key values. Each table can only have one clustered index. Non-clustered index. Non-clustered index does not alter the physical order of the table and maintains a logical order of the data. Each table can have many non-clustered indexes. There are some other indexes also, but these are mainly used. For a better understanding, you can see in the diagrams how indexing maps the data in a more logical and sequential manner, which will help in fast retrieval of data. Next question: what is subquery in SQL? What are the different types of a subquery? A subquery is a query inside another query where a query is defined to retrieve data or information back from the database. In a subquery, the outer query is called as the main query whereas the inner query is called subquery. Subqueries are always executed first and the result of the subquery is passed on to the main query. Types of subquery are correlated subquery. These are queries which select the data from a table referenced in the outer query. It is not considered as an independent query as it refers to another table and refers the column in a table. Non-correlated subquery. This query is an independent query where the output of subquery is substituted in the main query. In the diagram we can see the examples of non-correlated subquery and correlated subquery. In correlated subquery we can see the inner query is dependent on product_it column of the outer query, hence it is not independent like the non-correlated query. That's all for this part of SQL interview questions series. If you found the video useful, then please like and subscribe the channel. Also register for our free mock interviews today and brush up your skills at a fast rate. Website and contact details are provided in video description.